I'm a bad bitch, yeah. You know I'm that bitch, can't get off of this dick, yeah. I am that bitch, now you know I'm that bitch, yeah. I am that bitch, yeah. You know I'm that bitch, I am that bitch.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to That Bitch Podcast. I hope you guys all had a fantastic past week and a half. Make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast on YouTube. Make sure you rate 5 stars on Anchor and Spotify and anywhere else you listen to your podcast. Now, let's get into it. Okay, first, a little sip of wine. Happy Wine Wednesday, everybody. Cheers. I'm drinking a blueberry cherry wine. It's kind of like a homemade kind of wine at Wine Kits. Anywho, what have I been doing this past week and a half? I have been off work. I've been on vacation leave. I've done a staycation because I was supposed to go to Jamaica and I had to use up holidays. And, of course, had to cancel due to COVID. Fantastic. Well, I have recently been watching Euphoria. If you don't know what it is, you need to watch it. It is fantastic. It basically deals with, like, these teenagers in high school, and it shows you a lot of, like, how people use, like, drugs and alcohol and abuse it and stuff like that. But it seems to be this trend or thing that's happening is that parents and this company called Dare or something and all these activists are trying to, like, basically get the show shut down because of all the alcohol and drug use, and they think that it's glamorizing it, but it's not. If you actually watched it, you would know that it's not glamorizing it. It's actually showing, like, the hard, real truth of what happens when you use drugs and alcohol and you're abusing it. You see withdrawals with one of the main characters, and then her going to rehab and detox and all that kind of stuff. I highly, highly recommend it. And you also, for the ladies, you get to see a lot of penises too, because unlike every other show that's always boobs and vag, you finally get the dicks on there. And that may make guys feel a little uncomfortable when they're watching it. Well, guess it's suck it the fuck up. Us females, or women, or whoever identify as whatever, have to constantly see boobs and vag on TV shows and movies. Do we complain? No, we live with it because we are mature people. So, if you're going to watch this and you see dicks on your screen and it's making you, so awkward and you feel uncomfortable, suck it up and be mature. Okay, that's what I had to say on that. And I'm also currently watching Love is Blind on Netflix. It is quite interesting to say the least. So, this episode is going to be all about me rating and discussing my previous hookups, previous fucks, I guess you could say. Yeah, and I'm going to show examples of length and girth and all that kind of stuff. I definitely won't be going through all of them because then you would know how many people I've slept with, and I'm not going to ever tell you all that. But let's get into it. Okay, let me grab my phone because that is where my list is. And I'm going to start telling you some lovely stories. Oh, wine is delicious. Okay, now let me see here. Of course, I have the note locked in my phone. Okay, we're going to start out with the first person I ever slept with. Because I got it, right? Okay. Well, luckily for me, this guy had a very nice penis. I obviously didn't know that until, like, later on when I seen more penises and dealt with more, you know what I mean? But luckily for me, my first serious boyfriend and first time when I lost my virginity, blah, 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 he had a nice dick. Now, in my phone, it says big dick. Let's see if I can figure out an object here that I have on my desk. What would be an example of how big his penis was. Now, I'm going to spill my beans, my tea, my little secret on how I actually measure a guy's dick even if I don't look at it. Now, take a look at your hand, okay? You can roughly tell how many inches your hand is, okay? I have a measuring tape here. My hand, so from the tip of my middle finger to the base, like by my wrist, is basically about 6 inches, just about 6.5, I'd say. Let's say 6.5. Tip from here. So 6.5 is right here. Tip there. Yeah, so just about 6.5. Okay. So, actually, I should let everybody know the average, national average, world average, whatever. The average penis size is apparently 5.5 inches long. Hard. But I find everybody has their own experience, their own thought, or their own, like, what they think average is, I guess, would be depending on how many people the person slept with and usually the sizes they're used to, I guess you could say. I mean, I've dealt with, like, one on my phone is God's dick, is what it says. He was probably, let's see here, measuring tape. Pretty close to 8 inches. So he was way above average. But this first person was not 8, but still very large. So let's see here what this person... no, that's still too long. Shit. I have all these little objects, but I'm like, this ain't gonna work. Okay, that might work. Okay. Really weird object. It's a little paperweight that says hustle, but his length, not girth, because that would be kind of awkward because this is a triangle, is about roughly this long. So from here to here is about the size of my hand. So he's above average. He's got a nice size, okay? He was real good. Now, the one fuck. This was like later on after we had broken up. A couple of years later, blah, 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 we hooked up. I literally told him after we were done fucking, I said, you have a very nice dick. Be proud of your dick. He's like, what? I was like, be proud of your dick. You have a very nice dick. And he laughed it off. We both laughed. But, if you know you got a good one, be proud of it. Don't be like all egotistical and be an asshole, but be very proud of it. So, let's see what the average is on here. Okay, I've mainly slept with people who have average penis sizes. But I have a lot of small ones on here. Okay, so let's go to God's dick. Now, this guy is like mixed. So, yeah. He got a nice size. He got a mixture of this and a mixture of that. And it was very nice. And the penis was actually tan as well. I was very shocked. Let's see the size of this God's dick. This one. This is kind of funny as fuck. I have a candle with Jesus on it, as you can tell. Yes. His length was basically about this length, not girth. Girth, that would be a little insane. I think I would rip like my vag to my asshole if it was that thick. Yes, so length roughly this long, okay? God's dick, Jesus' dick, was very, very nice. But the story behind this person, he is kind of an asshole. He was very big ego because he was a model, of course. But the thing with this person is that this was probably my first time I ever got, like, physically abused, I would say, when seeing someone or, like, after sleeping with somebody that was very uncalled for. I never expected this to happen. So anyways, we had fucked, whatever, and he had finished on my stomach, okay? So then, cleaned it up, whatever. But this guy goes to kiss my stomach, and he tasted himself. Because obviously, it's not like residue, but like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you spill juice on something, you wipe it up, but you don't like wash it off. You got that taste. So he proceeded to slap me in the stomach because I didn't tell him or remind him that he finished on my stomach literally like 2 minutes ago and was mad at me. So he decided to slap me on my stomach. That was like the first time I ever kind of experienced that situation, and was not fun. Yeah, so I like rough sex, but not when you're like physically trying to hurt someone or you're mad at them, so you smack them. Like, not okay. Not okay. Let's go to the smallest dick that I've ever seen. Okay. Let me get my little measuring tape here. Okay, he was about, let's see. Definitely not this big. Okay. He was roughly the size of this lip stain. Okay? Possibly even smaller. So this lip stain is about just over 3 inches. So I'm pretty sure he was, if I can't, this is not going to get in view. Pretty sure he was about 3 inches long. And it was like a little chubby guy. Okay. This sex story was kind of a disaster. Now, this was like one of those experiences when you're literally like, is it in yet? Is it? You know, that's literally what I went through. Because this is the first time I ended up hanging out with this guy. Actually, second time or third, I don't remember. But like hanging out at one of our places because we would like drive around. Of course, I was always the person who drove everybody around because these guys never got their fucking licenses because they're goddamn losers. And most of them are still losers, but you know what it is. So he had came over to my house to hang out. And then, of course, we're like making out or whatever. Now, I really liked this guy. I had a crush on this guy because he was like the emo type of thing. And I was all about the scene emo phase back then. I just really, really wanted to hang out with him, okay? Well, I didn't expect his dick to be so small. To the point when we were fucking, I was literally laying there, like thinking to myself, is it in? Are we like having sex right now? Like, what's happening? Yeah, like his was like maybe this big, like maybe 3 inches, like very sad. Yeah, so let's say the size of this. Yeah. Not the best, but it is what it is. And then he ended up like messaging me, I think a year or two ago now, and wanting to hang out again. And to go get croissants and go to the library or the bookstore. And I'm like, I don't go to the bookstore. If I go anywhere, if I go there, I'm not going to chill there. I go to get book I want and then leave. Yeah, it was really weird. Now, some people might be like, ew, you keep a list in your phone of all the guys you slept with and then, like, get mad when this one guy I was seeing, I've talked about previously in other episodes, he was pissed off and not happy that I had the guys' dick sizes in my phone. It's not like 6 inches, 2 inches, 5 inches, 8 inches, no. It literally goes from, like, I'll say big dick, average dick, small dick, God's dick, because there's only one. Small, very, very small, stuff like that, below average, above average, average. That's about it. I don't try to get their exact inches in my phone. That'd be weird. It goes off memory. And the reason why I put this in my phone is so that I don't go back to the ones that I know had very small penises and the sex wasn't great. Or I just have that note that I'm like, oh yeah, it was like big and all, but the sex was like real bad. Yeah. So that would be why I put their estimation kind of size of my experience with that person. Yeah. Let's see. Okay. Now, a lot of people like to have high sex for some reason, like smoke weed and then fuck, but I'm not a fan of that. I don't mind having like drunk sex or like I'm buzzed or tipsy, because then I feel all loose and I'm like, woohoo, let's get wild, right? Yeah, high sex like on weed is a hell of a lot different. I tend to get dry mouth whenever I am smoking weed or have smoked weed. So this one guy, we had smoked way too much weed, and then we go to have sex. Now, let's see. His dick size was just as small dick. So, small dick to me is... Let's get the measuring tape out here, guys. Okay. So, he was probably... Okay, so 5.5. If you look on my hand, the average penis size is 5.5. 5.5 is about there. If you look on my finger, that's 5.5 here to here, okay? That's average. He probably had it from like here or here to that. So that's about 4.5 inches. So anyways, back to the story. I had dry mouth, and I go to suck this guy's dick. It was a disaster. I'm pretty sure my teeth hit his dick because I ain't got no saliva in my mouth at this point. And even if I like drink some water to try and get my saliva to come back, it ain't coming back. It gone. It far fucking gone. So that was not my best work, to say the least. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure he told me that my teeth hit his dick or something at one point. Yeah. Whoops. Sorry, that doesn't happen anymore. Now my little trick is if I get dry mouth, I try to like deep throat the dick or like gag on it so it hits like my uvula in the back. So then when you gag, right, your mouth gets all like full of saliva, and then my eyes fucking water, and that just, you look like a disaster, but your saliva came back. But haven't had to deal with that in a while. So, oh yes. Oh, I was going to tell the story about a different guy. He also had a small dick. And I had a huge crush on him all throughout elementary school and some of high school. Yeah, that crush, once we finally started talking, hanging out, and like making out and fucking, yeah, that crush went like, bye, like deuces. Yeah. So he had a small dick, probably about 4.5 as well. And my dog is a serious cock block, okay? So I warn guys when they come over, because yes, my parents know I'm fucking in my room, obviously. I am now going to be turning 27, so I'm 26 right now. I don't just like chill in my room with a guy for 4 hours just to watch a movie, okay? So they know what's up, but they don't just like come downstairs all the time. Anyways, my dog comes downstairs. As much as I try to move him out of my room, close my door, kick him out, kind of thing, he will make his way back in because he knows how to open my bedroom door with his nose. Because the house shifts, he just pushes it or pulls it with his nose and it's open. So, me and this guy are fucking. I finally get my dog out of the room. And Charlie likes to put his paws, Charlie's my dog, puts his paws on my bed. And he's staring at his fucking. Now, for me, I'm used to it. Doesn't bother me. Makes me laugh, to be honest. Because he's just making sure his mommy's okay. That's all. Just making sure I'm A-okay. And I usually am A-okay. But this guy got so weirded out that we had to stop fucking because his dick went soft because he felt awkward. And was not happy that my dog kept coming in the room. And that he would just stare at us. Okay. He's just a dog. He's not doing anything. He probably knows what's going on, to be honest. But it's not like he is interfering and joining in. He's not doing that. That is no. That's no. Hard no. None of that shit in this bitch, okay? Yeah. So later on, he wanted to like hang out, and I was like, no. And then we were supposed to hang out the one day, and he bailed on me, and I don't like getting flaked on, bailed on, canceled on. That shit pisses me right off. Very big pet peeve. So we stopped talking. Now, who's next? Oh, yes. The guy, the Mexican that I fucked while I was in Mexico a while ago. He had a small penis. And a little bit of a bush, too. Personally, I like everything cleaned up. Okay? That's just my personal way I like things on myself and on that other person. If you're expecting me to be shaved to the point that I look like I'm a hairless cat, then you better be having a hairless looking cat down there too. You know what I mean? You better be bare if I gotta be bare. It's only fair. If you're not allowing me to grow it out, then you don't get to grow it out either. Okay? It's only fair. So, on to this next one. Oh, I can't even talk about that one yet. Because I'm still there. Okay. We're going to talk about this guy who I previously had sex with like a while ago. He was the one that he cheated on his girlfriend with me, but this isn't the situation. This was like before they even started dating and before they were even talking when we had fucked. Now, this is not his length, but it is the way it's curved is the example that I need. Okay. Now, his penis had a curve to the right. Okay? I think it looks like I'm to the left on the camera, but to the right. Probably not this intense, but it was curved. His penis size was, let's see here. Where did he go? Oh my god. Oh, his is average. So, I think his was about the size of my hand. Yeah, well, the size of my hand-ish. And curved. Now, that was a fun one because it kind of like, you can hit certain spots, right? When you got like a curved penis. So that was fun. Thickness, I would say, I don't know. I haven't dealt with any like seriously massive thick dicks or thick cocks. I don't like saying cocks. Cocks sounds so dirty. Even though this is a very dirty episode. I'm not trying to make it like that kind of episode, you know. Yeah. So, and I haven't dealt with any skinny penises either. No little earthworm looking things. That would be kind of disturbing to look at. I'm not trying to dick shame or anything. I'm just telling some funny ass stories and examples of what I have dealt with because this shit's funny, okay? Let's, oh god. Just looking at this list, I'm like, Jesus. Oh, the next example is very excessive. You will be shook when I explain what this penis looked like. Okay, now this one is going to be a little intense because this one I was very shocked when I seen this in person. I mean, I've seen a dick pic from this person via Snapchat. Why, of course. But I was shook when I seen this literally in my face because it did get in my face. Now, this penis was above average. So we're going to say his penis size, probably even girth too, to be honest. This is about normal. Let's measure this measuring tape. It's about 1.5 inches girth. Yeah, about 1.5 inches. Okay. This length, top of the candle to the bottom, about 7. Yeah, I would say he's about 7 inches, I would say, roughly. He was the size of this candle. You know what's funny? This candle says blessed on it. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Nope, it ain't going. Yes, it was roughly the size of this and this. But the thing is, it was not a straight penis. It was not straight. Nor was it just a little curved either. It was so curved. It was like a C. I'm going to use this pool noodle to give you an example of what it looked like. It literally was like this. Now, imagine trying to get this inside you, okay? It was not like a little bend. It was like a serious fucking bend. Now, in doggy style, it was like real good, right? Because it's so bent, it hits the right spots. But this fucking penis, that it was bent like a goddamn C, and not like inwards. Yeah, it wasn't inwards either. It wasn't like towards me. It would be like the other way. So, trying to get this to stay in was an absolute struggle and a half. We did have some really fucking good sex though, but I've never encountered a penis that was so curved it was like the letter C. Huh. C for curved, C for cock. Now, not shaming this guy because it was a nice dick. It was a good fuck. But I was just like literally shooketh to my core. Because it was so fucking curved. Like, literally a C. Yeah. I don't even, like, I can't even, like, explain further. Like, just shook, okay? If any of y'all seen it, you'd be like, holy fucking hell. But this little fucking thing, not even little, because it was above average, kept popping out whenever we would try to move positions because it's so damn curved. So that was the only struggle, is that it kept popping out, but it is what it is. Now, let's see if I can figure out another funny sex story with another person. Oh yes, this one guy that I dated for like 2 months because of like, he was a baby daddy, baby mama drama. I ain't dealing with that shit. He had a nice big dick, like probably like girth again, like this candle. But like length, I would say the size of this heat protectant bottle. This Chi with Barbie. Let's go Barbie. Yeah, so I would say it's probably the length of this. This is, let's see. Length. It's about 8 inches. I would say so, pretty close to that God's dick, but not God's dick. It was a nice penis. That one was a really good fuck. And the one time, it was funny because way after we fucked, he was soft, obviously. And I don't know why guys and or girls either get so embarrassed, but when they see you guys' dick soft, like I would just like want to hold the little thing, like cup the little thing, you know? It's like a little tiny little guy. I find it not really hilarious, but I find it like cool and interesting. So I was like playing with it, right? And then he was showing me too that you can like put a guy's balls like up, kind of like, I guess kind of like in their stomachs the way it feels, but you can like push them up there. I was like, oh, interesting. So I guess that's what happens when you kick a guy in the dick or the balls. They kind of go whoop or up all up in there. Yeah, so that was kind of funny. Plus I was like playing with like everything. Yeah. Weird, but funny at the same time. Oh, and then he had like this numbing spray to make sex last longer. We never used it, but he was showing me it, and I was like, oh, that's interesting, but never actually used the numbing spray before. Maybe I should with somebody. I literally haven't had sex in, about a month now. I'm just literally not even feeling it. I have no urge to go and fuck someone. I haven't even played with like a toy with myself or anything. I don't know. I wish I had like the sex drive right now. I got a low libido. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. It could be from like not antibiotics, but like prescriptions that I'm on for depression and anxiety and all that kind of stuff. If you know what I mean. Yeah. Let's go to another penis story. Okay. Oh, this one guy, he had so many fucking tarantulas in his bedroom. It was really creepy because he had lots of like pet tarantulas. He had an average penis. Sex was fun though. Then the motherfucker ghosted me. I was so upset. I had a crush on him all throughout like elementary school too and a little bit in high school. I think he was like 2 or 3 years older than me, but I was so upset. He fucking ghosted me. Like 2 days later after we fucked. No idea why. I was not a clingy person. I wasn't doing anything like crazy. And he also might still live. I don't know if he still does. Like 3 blocks away from me. Yeah. So that was really annoying. And his dog was actually it was his brother's dog, but his dog was so beautiful. It was like a shepherd of some sort. It was beautiful. That was a sad story because that was fun sex and we like clicked very easily and it was fun to hang out with the person. But you know what? Fuck you. You probably don't even listen to the episode. You don't probably even listen to the podcast, but still, fuck you, dude. I hate when guys ghost. People, when you ghost, you're such assholes. Like, if you're not interested in the person anymore, just say something. That's all. It may hurt them in the moment, but in the long run, instead of ghosting someone and them not knowing why or what happened, like, it's easier just to explain something to someone and then be like, sorry, I'm not feeling it anymore, and that's it. Done. Nothing just fucking leaving. Oh my god, one story that I almost encountered a chode. Oh my god. So, I had matched with this one guy on Tinder, but we never, like, met after never even met after the whole conversations. And then I was at the bar. This story is from, like, at least 4 years ago, at least. And I was chilling at the bar, hands, and I was sitting at, like, one of the little tables by kind of, like, this open area where you can, like, look off the balcony to see people. And he comes walking to the side. He's like, hey, Serena. I was like, hey, you? He's like, you don't recognize me, do you? I was like, no. He's like, I'm so-and-so. We matched on Tinder. I was like, oh, well, hi, blah, blah, blah. Started talking. Everything was good. He's a very interesting guy. Yeah. So anyways, then later on, I don't even know how long later, we had ended up hanging out. Now, this guy, when I felt his penis, when he was hard, I was slightly terrified. Because this fucking thing was probably... Let's see if I can find a size example. Okay. Well, the thickness of this candle is 2.5 inches. It was probably roughly 2.5 inches thickness. Length, maybe 3 to 4 inches. So just imagine this fucking... Let's go with 3.5. We'll give it in between. So just imagine somebody being like this thick, this long, even a little bit thicker, I think, because this thing terrified me when I touched it because it was so thick. I thought I probably would have been ripped from hole to hole, to be honest, because that would be terrifying to fit that in. That's like putting like a pop can in your vagina. Ew, gross. That's a weird thought to think of. Yeah, that was probably one of the most terrifying things that I ever encountered or touched. Because I was like, I'm getting tired. You should probably go home. And then he ended up going home. And then we like talked a little bit. Then we slowly stopped talking. And then all was well. Yeah. Nice dude though, but I'm not dealing with that. I think that's all I got for like really drastic, crazy stories of penis sizes. I'm trying to think who was like had the best sex. I'll be totally honest. I don't think I've had any like mind-blowing sex before. Still haven't, obviously. Still never orgasmed, obviously. I don't know. I just feel like from when like I started having sex to like now, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to offend guys and the guys that listen, but so many of you just like go so you can go as fast as you can to finish so you get pleasured, and then it's all about you, but it's not. You need to make it about each other. Females take a long time to get off. They need at least like a good 20 minutes of foreplay, okay? So it's like I was just fucking just to fuck, I guess. Like, I went through my hoe phase already, clearly. That's where a lot of these stories are from, my hoe phase, because that happened like at least 3 or 4 years ago now. I just hate that you guys rush it and it's only just for you and not about the female or other partner. It's very frustrating and kind of upsetting because then you're like, oh, you fuck, and you're grunting. Then you're done. You flop over and you pass out. Or you flop over, you put your pants on, you leave the girl there half the time with like shit on her stomach or whatever. Not literal shit, but like they come on the stomach. Or you wipe it up. And that's it. And it could be like 5 minutes, could be 10, could be half an hour. I think the one boyfriend that I had, we fucked for over an hour. That was a fun time. I was hurting though, because like when you're not using lube, a girl can only stay wet for so long. Because all of a sudden then I'm like losing interest already. And then I feel like I'm like a desert down there. So yeah. Lube is key. Oh, but another thing, for guys who have small penises, do not be discouraged or feel discouraged or embarrassed, because if you want to try anal with whomever, a small penis is great for that, because when you have sex in your booty hole, when you're doing anal, everything back there feels so large. So your small little 3-4 incher is going to feel like a ginormous beast up in the asshole. So small penises, that's your pro instead of a con. You can do anal and you're not gonna freaking injure the girl, because I mean, like, half the time when you have like butt plugs and like things that prep you for anal, they're usually small, like 2 to 3 to 4 inches, and not very thick either. Some can be thick, but they're like not massive. So think of that. Your dick is like that size. It's perfect for anal. So think about that. I don't know. I think anal's fun when you're in the mood for it. Don't ever force somebody to try it, because it's a very different experience, a very different feeling. If you haven't done it, I do recommend it, because butt stuff is fun stuff. But it's definitely something to try. And if it's not your thing after you tried it, that's totally okay. You know what you like, you know what you don't like. But don't knock it till you try it. You know what I mean? As long as you're safe. And if you're doing anal, use lots and lots of lube. I highly recommend lots and lots of lube. I think that's all I have for sex stories and penis sizes that I can remember. I wish I had a better memory, to be honest, because I swear to God, I forget so many things. I think it's like a trauma response or something, like the shit that I went through in like elementary school, high school. I try to block out a lot of things. And then when I went through a fucking roller coaster of emotions with one person that like fucking put my world upside down after hurting me so bad, not physically, but like emotionally, mentally, I like blocked out everything, a lot of it from before that, which is kind of shitty, but it is what it is, I guess. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Oh, wait. I have a story. Somebody gave me their story to read anonymously. So I'm going to read that. Okay. I cannot say who this is from, but I can read the story. Okay. So, time to read the story that I got. True story. Anonymously, of course. Okay. So this guy says, so I was sleeping with this lady from out of town, and we had been seeing each other for a while at this point, friends with benefits, and we decided to head up to Saskatoon one day to hang out, and hit the town because of the obvious, much more to do. After a long day in Saskatoon, we hit Highway 11 en route back to Regina. It was about 11 p.m., so the highway was empty and quiet, keeping in mind this is during summer before he gets judged for what happens next. We were both flirting around, and I could see by her mannerisms that she was getting blah, blah, blah. Holy shit, I can't read. I could see by her mannerisms that she was getting horny, so I naturally played along. She told me that she had wore something special for me, and proceeded to tear her top off, and show me the lacy lingerie she had decided to wear. In brackets, super hot thing to do for men, for the ladies listening. Following this, I told her I'd pull right over to get this party started. Well, what did she tell me to do? Keep driving. So two intensely horny freaks are cruising 120 kilometers down the highway. And then, in brackets, I was conflicted at first, but the horniness took over. Shocker, guys. Shocker. I threw my truck in cruise control and pulled the seat all the way back, tilted back, and she tore off my pants. Got on top and rode me for the next 20 minutes. Craziest sex I've ever had this day, by far. The sensual music playing, the bass, the intimacy, the stretchiness. Sketchiness? Sketchiness, not stretchiness. Sketchiness. Unforgettable experience. For those wondering, I did keep my eyes on the road and kept my hands at 10 and 3 on the steering wheel. I do recommend people try this, or do not try this at home. Yeah. And I had said, okay, well, how did you see the road if you were, like, leaning back? And he had just said that he looked over her shoulder here and there. I do not recommend anybody trying this. That is definitely a not safe thing. Yeah. Oh, Lord. I'm trying to think if I had any, like, horrible sex experiences. I think just, like, pain. I've had painful ones. Because, like, well, I had an IUD for the longest time. And, or even, like, I don't know if a lot of girls experience this. Or people with vaginas. I don't know if y'all experience this, but, like, after your period or during it, the sex, like, hurt. Mine always hurt because it felt, like, so, I guess, raw and sensitive to the point that, like, the smallest dick could fucking be so painful. And guys would be like, oh my god, they think they're so big, right? And then it's like, you're like 4 inches. It hurts because I just finished my period, okay? Calm your fucking shit down. Relax that ego. Tame that ego. Because I'll break that fucking ego if needed. Okay. I think that's kind of all I got, really, for some stories at this time regarding previous hookups. Yeah. I mean, I guess I was supposed to, like, rate the previous hookups. I don't even know how I'm going to title this episode anymore. Because I didn't really rate them. I kind of just discussed in length. So I guess the title might be a little misleading. My bad. It was more about discussing their lengths, not really rating it. Because out of all the ones that I've hooked up with, out of, let's say, 1 being really shitty, 10 being fantastic, most of you are from, like, a 4 to, like, a 7 or 8. So, don't be too proud of yourself if you're listening to this and you know that we fucked. Because it probably wasn't that great. Yeah. Even my most, like, recent hookups were not that great, except for the one that had, like, the curved dick to, like, a C. Otherwise, they were not that great. Because y'all be too quick. And don't be taking care of your female, okay? It pisses me right off. I love foreplay, and a lot of guys forget about it or don't do it. Yeah. Anywho, make sure you guys like and subscribe to this podcast on YouTube. If you don't watch the podcast on YouTube, well, just go to my YouTube and go subscribe anyways. I need more subscribers, motherfuckers. And leave a comment. But if it's a negative comment, you know I'm gonna delete it because we don't need negative energy up in this bitch, okay? And if you're listening on Spotify or Apple, make sure you rate 5 stars, leave a review. And if you are listening on Spotify, you can watch this on video as well on your phone. You just have to go into the podcast you're listening to and just open it up. And you can actually see this full video on there if you don't want to watch it on YouTube. You can watch it on Spotify. Sadly, Apple Podcasts, shit out of luck. You can only listen. You can't watch on the app, but you can go to YouTube and have a good old time. So make sure you guys tune in to the next episode in a week and a half, and go follow my Instagram at Serena Laternis, also at that_bitch__ podcast, and on Twitter at that bitch podcast, Twitter as well at Serena Shuba. Everything will be in the description below, and on my YouTube channel, I actually have it in like the banner everywhere you can find my social medias. TikTok is at Serena Shuba, and at that, I think it's Bish podcast on TikTok, because of course you gotta be like PG on TikTok, even though a lot of shit on there is not PG whatsoever. Yeah. Anywho, have a great week. Happy fucking Wednesday. Cheers to all my bitches. And I will see you all in a week and a half, because you never know what tea is about to be spilled next. Bye, bitches.